Okay, hello everyone. This is Mr. Lou Martin here. I'm a conscious channel. I'm in Cork, Ireland, and I am delighted, truly, to have my dear, dear friend, the Queen of the Fairies, we like to call her, Heather Haskell, coming to us from the Kingdom of Kerry. And Heather is another blow-in transplant from the UK, and she does amazing energy work, and she's one of my special angels and dear friends here. So Heather, you and Daisy, you've got the floor. How are you doing today?
We're doing really well. Thank you for that lovely introduction.
Pleasure.
This is Daisy. You can say hello to Daisy. This is my little companion who helps me in my work.
That's right. She's a great spirit guide, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. She comes into all healings.
Brilliant, brilliant. So I got to, as you know, Declan Kavanagh and I got out to finally see you in person and your beautiful home there and your medicine wheel. So tell us about your work, why you're in Ireland, and what people can connect with you about on their healing journey.
Okay, well, I like to call myself a guide, somebody who walks alongside you to guide you in the best way possible. And I do this through Reiki attunements. I'm a homeopath. These are the tools that I use to assist you to deprogram yourself, is what I like to say.
Right.
So, yeah. And I came here, I was guided by Spirit to come to Ireland. I came, it's 4 years now in this August, and I arrived at a friend's wedding, or not, her daughter's wedding, and it was just out of the blue that I was invited to this wedding, so over I came. And the minute I arrived here, the signs were ridiculous, and I didn't quite know what was going on, because I was thinking, why am I getting all these signs? I went down to this beautiful little harbour, and a pod of dolphins arrived out of nowhere. And then I was instructed by Spirit to walk up this mountain, which I've never walked up a mountain. If you knew me, I'm not the mountain climbing type, but off I went, and everybody was quite worried about me because they were thinking, what is the fairy doing walking up a mountain on her own? But I did. And when I got to the top, it was just unbelievable. I thought I'd arrived in Middle Earth, and I then realized that I really had to pay attention to what was going on around me. So then I was drawn to look at a property just by where I was staying. The property next door was really interesting, and I'm a bit nosy, so I went in to have a look. And suddenly I had all these ideas that I could come here. But eventually I wasn't taken to that property, but that property was the one that got me seeing what was happening here. And then in the end, I ended up finding a property in the middle of the ring of Kerry, which was very interesting, because if anybody knows anything about runes, a ring is a center of knowledge. It's where it all gathers, because it's in the middle. And of course, I was on the ley line of the Skellig Michael, so I paid attention, and I had to pack up, leave all my family in England and come here, which is what I did. And it was a huge challenge, and I didn't think about it too much. And then I bought this place and built onto it so I could create this retreat, Emerald House, which is what I've done. And I've had 3 years of working out how to live on my own, but they sent me Daisy, so that was quite good.
Yes, yes.
So excellent. Yeah, that's my story of how I got here.
Okay, brilliant.
And now I'm opening up. Yeah.
Go on. Go ahead, dear. Now you're opening up your house for retreat.
Oh, have you gone? I think I can't hear you.
Sure, I'm back again. So you're opening up your house to retreats, you're about to say, I think?
Yeah, well, what I tend to do a lot of is one-on-one, or maybe I have 3 people, because I work with, the people that I've worked with in England come over and maybe stay for 3 days where there's an issue that they need to address. So they come, stay with me, I pull a few threads, we look at, the shadow aspect, or the shadow that they can't see themselves. And the energy here is really quite something.
Yes.
And you can't hide it. I don't really have to do that much because the energy of the place is incredible.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
so they stay with me, we meditate, I take them to a few sacred sites. I have a beautiful fairy wood near me. So I take them, and each person, it's bespoke in a way because I never quite know what's going to be right until they arrive. So I tend to do it by the person, basically. What,
Right.
you know, what walks through my door, what needs attention at this moment in time, because I am quite shamanic.
Yes, you are. You are indeed. I just want to get on the record here for myself and our own personal connection. The first time I met this lovely lady was at a little grandmother workshop that our friend Mairead Conlon had put together in Dunleary 2 summers ago. And Heather, who is a little, you know, she comes up to about here on me, I think, when we're standing next to each other. Yeah, this lovely little lady came over to me, and she had these 2 stunning crystals. They're on my other table there. And she said, "Are you Lou Martin?" And I said, "Yes, I am." And she said, I think these are for you. And I'm like, "Who are you? What is all this?" So you've been a blessing to me since the first moment I met you, my dear, and that has never stopped the truth. So,
Oh, that's very nice of you to say, Lou.
well, I
Yeah.
want to get it on the record, as we say here. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was directed to you, so yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. As I say during the channeling, I get a lot of help here. So it's very true. And what I want to say also is, can you talk a little bit about your work with crystals, and then and your medicine wheel, and then can you give us a bit of background of how you got into all this to begin with?
How I got to be where I am, you know,
Yes, how you
my
become this powerful,
education,
energetic
so to
healer,
speak.
and how you're able to
Yeah.
travel in and out
Okay.
of dimension, work with spirit.
Okay. It must have been, where am I now? 2019. I think it was,
We're 2018 now. Don't go.
2018. I can't remember. It's so far back, I can't really remember. But what I've got 2 boys, and one of them developed asthma. And this was my first wake-up call, really, where I was at a party and saying to somebody that I didn't want to give my child steroids. And she said to me, "Why do you give all your power to the doctor?" And this was a really interesting question for me, because I was sort of quite shocked at this question. And I went, well, that's what it's meant to be. So she said, "Why don't you take your own responsibility?" And she happened to be a homeopath. And this kept me up all night, this question, going, why do I do that? You know, and I started for the first time to question, you know, how come I don't listen to my own guidance? So I went off and did homeopathy for 4 years. And then after that, I didn't like the idea of working on my own. So I attracted, like I do, the perfect person for me to work with, Charles Wansborough, an amazing guy in London. And we worked together for 10 years. And he was a mad experimenter in other ways as well. We worked with sound and all sorts of things. And he was an incredible mind. And he taught me, a lot. I mean, he sort of, as he said, he dragged me up through the matrix very quickly. And then from there, we met my Reiki master, who at the time, I wasn't too keen on Reiki because I had been attuned before and it didn't really work that well for me. And suddenly this guy came into our lives and he changed my whole world. And he's quite an incredible teacher and Reiki master, and he's a shaman. So I had maybe how many years with him? 7 years of very tough. He's not for everybody, tough teacher, but I was very pleased that it was him that taught me, because he's helped me create a very disciplined, boundaried practice, which,
Great.
as a fairy, you know, is
Okay.
because I'm. Can you hear me?
Yes, I
And
have.
the reason I say, yeah, the reason I say that is because I have very high levels of sensitivity. I'm sort of quite unusual in some ways because a lot of sensitives can't really operate in this world that well. But I've got this sort of this another side that's quite practical. So it's still not easy for me to have a foot in both worlds, but I do quite well with the levels of sensitivity I have.
Yeah, yeah. Brilliant.
So.
Brilliant. Were you able to help your son with his asthma with your homeopathy?
Oh yeah, no, he's great. He's brilliant. Yeah, no, he took home. He had homeopathy, and yeah, he never had to take the steroids.
Brilliant. Well done. Fantastic. Very good. So, tell us a little. That was wonderful. So, how old were you when you think you made this big shift in your life? How long ago was this, do you think?
Well, I was four.
You're in your 40s.
Yeah, I was in my late 40s when all of this happened, and it.
Wow. You were saving it up, Spirit would say.
Yeah, well, exactly, and I was pulled up really quickly. I mean,
Yeah.
Charles and Chris said, you know, because when Chris came into our clinic, I was hidden, and it's interesting because I talked to you about being hidden, and I was once again hidden from him because he has great powers of seeing beyond the veil, and somehow he said I was there, and they pulled me up really quickly. I was really shocked. You know, I came from this sort of pink bubble world into this,
Right.
hence pink bubble.
It's very
But
nice.
that's what I was in, a pink bubble. That's how I existed, basically.
Right.
And when they burst it, it was really shocking. It took
Right.
quite a few years for me to really ground myself because I was so open to everything. It's like, in a way, you know, when you talk about your Kundalini experience, you know, you open yourself to everything, and it's like, whoa, this is quite
Yeah.
quite hard. And my Reiki master said to me, I never really wanted to be here, so I kept a foot outside of Earth always.
Right.
But now I'm here to do my work. So
Good. Good. We're very glad you are, my friends. You're a bright, bright light in this world. Bless you.
A crazy zany light, I might add.
Well, yeah, we need a little levity, in the mix here. Absolutely. Great. So, can you talk a little bit about your medicine wheel and creating that? That's an incredible story.
Yeah. Well, what happens with me is I work very much with the medicine wheel in my practice, and you know, my Reiki 1, you know, I shine a light on where you are at this moment in time and what needs to be addressed. And then Reiki 2 is cleaning up your emotional system, all the programming that you've been run by. And then Reiki 3 is I bring your mantle, it hovers over you to set you off on your own journey of mastery. Now, within that, the great teaching of the medicine wheel, which is what I've been taught by the North American medicine wheel. So one day I was here, and somebody said to me, Heather, there's somebody up the road, one of the farmers is reclaiming a field, and the stones that have come out are amazing. So I went, oh, that's fascinating. So I went to have a look, and there they were, all these amazing stones. So the builder that built my house, I said to him, is there any chance that, you know, I could get them here? So you can imagine the Irish farmers, they didn't know what I was doing. They thought I was nuts. But in saying that, they're very sweet, and they came down with medicine wheel stones, and I had to get them to position them, which was even more crazy, but we did it in the end. We finally got the medicine wheel up, and then I gridded it with crystals, and it's really amazing energy.
Right, it's incredible. So these are about 10 stones, and they're each like half a ton.
No, they're 9 stones.
9
You've
stones.
got north, south, east, west. northwest, northeast, southwest, southeast,
Got it.
and then the center stone spirit.
Right, right. And they're
And
about
you
half a
see,
ton
you
each.
travel. And each one of the, oh yeah, they're bigger than half. I don't know what half a ton looks like, to be fair, but they're
Yeah,
big.
yeah, yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. Brilliant. Well, what else would you like to share with us while we have your
Well, I suppose at the moment it'd be interesting because you it the other day on when I looked at your chat with, I can't remember who it was, a lovely,
Tracy?
sorry?
Tracy?
Yeah. Was it, no, not Tracy, that other lady
Oh,
that you were
Mia.
talking to for
Mia,
about
who's
2 hours?
Mia, who's in Cary?
No, I don't know.
What did she talk about?
She was talking about, what's happening now on our planet and how wonderful it is that the veil is becoming less and less, and you were talking about the time has come for us, and it's really quite exciting for the first time that we've all got this chance to walk from one 3D dimension into the fifth dimension. So I'm really excited about this because I can feel that we've all been getting ready for quite a long time to reach this point where we're now, ready, especially us the elders of us who have had to go through quite a dark, difficult time to get to this point of showing the light for these young people. And that's really exciting. And to
Yes.
help them understand that, you come into this 3D reality to learn about separation, to learn about who you are, what your relationship is to all around you. And it's tricky because we're programmed from the word go. We've got no memory of anything. And whatever is given, whatever the programming is, for some, it's really tough. Yeah. And so it's exciting to be at this point in time to be able to help.
Sure, sure. Brilliant, brilliant.
Mm.
Well, how do people find you, hon?
Well, they can find me. They can get. I have a Facebook Emerald House, which there's all the information there to find me. My phone number. I don't know whether I think my phone number is there,
Okay.
and my email, which I prefer people to either message me or email me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
And then they can. There's all sorts of things. Yeah, that I do. I'm setting up quite a few things this year to really concentrate on deprogramming people.
There. I think that's what we needed to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what my whole goal is, to help deprogram, because, and you know what, people can think, okay, it's a challenge to face your own truth, to face your own self. And I still have to face my own self every single day. So I'm always working on that too. And I don't care what comes through my door. It's, in the end, we're all human. We all make mistakes. We're all programmed. We all had no idea until this moment in time how programmed we were by our belief systems. So yeah, that's my goal.
Brilliant. Can you talk a little bit about how you would help people to deprogram? Because I'm sure that's very important.
Okay, so, well, obviously each person is an individual and I treat them in that way. So when somebody comes to see me, I like to do 3 sessions. And the first session is as they walk over my door. It's the same as my Reiki. As they walk over my door, I find out what's going on at that moment in time for them, and I help them by shining a light, by doing a reflective exercise to see where it is. And normally spirit comes in and it all just happens. And then they come back a second time where I do a healing, cleansing their system. And I'm very much into using crystals. And the third time, I sort of put them back together to go forward to then when they stumble again, they come back.
Brilliant.
But it's for people that really, I'm interested in the people that really want to invest in themselves.
Right.
because it's easy to just go once or twice to something like this. It's not what it's about.
Right.
You really do have to invest in yourself, and that's what I did. I
Yeah.
invested everything in
Yeah.
my journey,
Yeah.
and it's important that people understand that.
Right. Right.
If you're
My
really going to go for it, then
yeah.
so that's what I'm interested in, people that want to take up the challenge.
Good. I'll give you a quote from my guides because I've channeled for you, as you know, and you like
Yeah,
their stuff.
yeah.
They say partial commitment, partial freedom. Total
Oh,
commitment.
really, that's really good. I love it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
we have to totally commit if we want to
yeah.
get totally free.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? There's plenty of us out there to hold their hands to do that. I,
Yeah.
and I love nothing better than when somebody comes to me and they're completely honest and open and just show me.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing.
Yes. Mine too, sweetheart. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes it a
It's
lot
a joy,
easier.
it's a joy because you know what? It takes a lot of guts to do that.
Yeah, 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 exactly. Well, beautiful and brilliant. You have this great meditation space in your home there, uh,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and you have all these great crystals. For people who are not familiar with working with crystals or creating a
Okay.
space, can you tell them a little bit about that?
Okay, I'll get one for you to, and I'll introduce it to you.
Okay, great. We'll bring a crystal friend into the conversation here.
Yes, I'll bring two crystal friends. Hang on, I just don't want to unwire myself.
All right, don't.
Here, here. This is this beautiful. Can you see this?
Yes.
This is it's only a small little ball, but this is pink calcite called morganite.
Right. Can you hold it? Can you hold it just for a second, right up to the? There you go, and a little bit. Yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, so it looks like an egg almost.
I know. Well, I've got it. I've got it on here on a little piece of rose quartz. Now, this for me, I have a feeling it's just come into my life, and its energy is truly the most powerful love vibration I've ever felt.
Yeah, I just felt
So,
it in my heart when you brought it to the camera there.
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to work with this. I'm going to get a fairly huge piece of it to because one or two of my peers that I work with, I've sourced them some, and they're doing great works with it.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's called pink calcite. It's not so easy to find because it's very soft stone, but it's so powerful, and I'm in love with it at the moment.
Yeah. Great.
And then this one here is a mighty incredible piece.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
This is a smoky quartz, but this fell into my lap in a
Really?
crystal shop. So I knew that it was mine. And shamanically, I'm snake medicine.
Right.
And this represents my snake. Now, this is a shamanic healing crystal because it got broken when it was forming and still kept growing.
Yeah.
So this cleanses and clears all that comes out in my room to transform it back into clean energy.
Great. Great.
So
Do you
it's
put?
beautiful.
That's wonderful. Now, do you put your crystals out usually on the full moon?
Well, mine are always out in my room, and the full moon shines straight into my meditation room. But I only have crystal. I mean, the ones that I work with, I don't usually have crystals out that I don't work with, because these are beings to be highly respected.
Yeah.
And so, they do a job of work with me.
Yeah.
So I have to give them the highest respect. So I
Yeah.
tend not to have too many out, only the ones that work.
Sure, sure. I have to share with you the quote from Lazarus, my teacher, about crystals. He says, "You are the map makers. You are the most conscious human beings on the planet. Crystals are the most conscious part of the earth." So,
Right, yeah.
you get drawn to work with crystals, and crystals get drawn to work with you at different times. Right before I opened to channel, I got a piece of moldavite. Yeah, and I used to wear it around my neck. and it disappeared after I opened a channel. It literally vanished.
Ah, that's it. I know. Well, it's quite interesting. They are fascinating because you can get a crystal and it will break, and usually the crystal takes the break for you, so it's not so difficult. So they're just the most incredible beings. But
Yes.
I'm hoping to, with the pink calcite, I'm hoping to spread that around the world because I think everybody should have a piece because it's
Sure.
so beautiful.
Sure. Well, maybe now that you know the magic of Zoom, yeah, thanks to
Yeah, and I have a. You always have to be careful where you source your crystals from, because you know, the person that holds the crystals, they've got to be fairly clean energy system.
yeah,
And I have the most beautiful person. I think she's on this earth to be the gatekeeper. So
right,
yeah,
right.
that's where they come from.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm going to send you, when we get through here, I'm going to send you a video clip I found yesterday. One of the things Lazarus does in a workshop is he will set a grid of crystals, and they work with crystals. Jack goes to the show in Tucson, Arizona every year.
Oh yeah, no, I'd love to go there.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. And he is collecting and sharing and selling and offering these crystals, to the people that work with
Oh,
him.
that's interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
I'll have to send you this grid. I just found it yesterday, and it's just incredible energy.
Well, the thing that I find with crystals is, because you people can say, "Oh, what does this one do? What does that one do?"
Right.
But ultimately, that crystal has come personally for you, and it's good to communicate with them and see what it is. How come that they crossed your path,
Yeah. Yeah.
and to give them great honor in the fact that they're there.
Yeah. Brilliant. Brilliant. Well, my friend, I give great honor to the fact that we've gotten to spend a little quality time together, sharing your gifts with the world.
I know it's interesting because you know what I'm like, Lou. I don't like to come out from behind my trees, but the time has come that I know that I have to do this now.
Yes, my dear. I'm so glad you're not kicking and screaming any longer. It's a joy. Yeah.
Hey, I was going to show you I was going to show them out the window, but I don't know if I can, because where I live is in the center of the Ring of Kerry, and it's near the Blockasheen Pass.
Okay.
So that Blockasheen literally means the spirit that runs through the mountain.
Right.
And
Right.
it's to do with the story Tír na Nog. So if any Irish people are listening, they'll know, they'll understand that. And I have this incredible tree. Let me see if I can.
Okay. Okay.
I can lift you up.
I can hear Van Morrison. I can hear Van Morrison singing "Tír na Nog" in my head now. Yeah.
Can you see?
Well, the tree out there
Right.
in the center.
Can you hear that? Can you see that?
Yes. Yes, in the center of the field.
Yeah, that's my tree, and straight behind the tree
Right.
is the Blockasheen, the pass that goes over the mountain.
Okay.
There's a
Right.
sort of, I think you went over it, didn't you? When
Yes.
you came to see me.
Yes, and I say again, thank God for GPS and Google Maps. Yeah.
But yeah, it seems like it's difficult to find, but most people seem to find me.
Well, if you have a good phone and the postal address and GPS, you're all sorted. Yeah. There was one other thing. So for people who don't know about Tír na Nog, can you say what that is?
Well, it's a story, and it's about this man that had a relationship with this woman, and what happened was they were off in spirit, I think, and he got a chance to come back to Earth, but they said if he could come back on his horse, but he wasn't allowed to touch the earth. And there was an old man in his pathway, and he was asking for help, and he put his hand down to help him and fell off the horse and became dust.
Well, there's a great.
That's a very small little,
Okay.
that's a very
All
summary picture of it.
Okay.
But it's always an interesting story for me, because one always has to be careful of who one helps.
Sure. Sure.
until somebody asks you.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult, because, you know, we can't play God. We have to be, you know, there waiting for them to say, may I help you?
Yes, we have to be very good with our boundaries.
Yeah, because otherwise us little empaths like to help everyone.
Yeah, and
And
that's
it's
where
not
we give our
always,
power away.
exactly.
Yes.
And it doesn't help anyone to
Nope.
do that.
Nope. Nope. You got to stay in your center, and then people and
Like,
situations will come to you.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, sweetheart.
Once somebody says, can you help me?
Yeah,
Then you know you have permission.
that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Well, on that high note, I think we've done it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Much love. So people should go to your Facebook page, Emerald House.
Emerald House. I've also got, you can look at more of what I do. My website's called thewayfinder.co.uk.
Great.
Now that's literally just a sort of a little place where I explain what I do, who I am, how come I got here,
Yeah.
and all of that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
But Emerald House is the place.
Okay. All right. Well, I promise we'll do this again. You're a gift to all of us, including me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, Lou,
Yeah.
you're very kind. Thank you so much for pushing me outside of my box.
Well, what are friends for? Yes. Brilliant. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Okay.
All my love.
Bye
Talk to you soon. Have a great
Okay.
day.
Bye.
Bye for now. Thanks, Heather.